a late video tonight just because I wanted to get a video out to you, all my students, privately now. If you didn't know, at 2 a.m. tonight we're going to have the FOMC, the US FOMC statement and the US federal funds rate decision. Okay, not expecting a change in the decision in the rates this time, so it's going to stay at 2%. Because of that, we're going to focus more on the FOMC statement for this news. All right. So again, 2 a.m. I'm sending this out at 10:36 right now, just so that I captured this last news, the 10:30 crude oil inventories that came in a lot stronger than expected. All right. So now we're looking at the market has moved. We are able to actually check out what's likely to happen at 2 a.m. So before I get into that, I'm just going to check if you guys have actually seen the email that I send out on a daily basis right now. If you haven't, head to forexbriefcase.com and just go click a free trial right now. You can actually sign up. It's free to end of August. Sign up for it right now and just name and email address. Okay. The main thing about that is, while you get signals, you get 1 or 2 signals a day, getting you some good trade ideas that you could actually be making a good profit from as well. But the main thing from that is you get this. Okay, let me show you a better picture of that. You get an email from me. You get an email from me where I send out. I personally write it up every day. I send it out to you. Why it's called a briefcase is because it's going to accompany you before you start trading anytime. Every day before you start trading, I know you guys have no time to look through the news. What I've done is I've listed out the important news. Not only listed out important news, actually tell you what the news could do and also tell you what to prepare for. Okay, so tonight we had the non-farm pay, we had the ADP non-farm employment change, we have the ISM PMI, we had the crude oil. We're looking at FOMC and the Fed funds rate. Okay. As I was telling you, while we had lower US dollar volatility in the ADP non-farm and the PMI, that's why I didn't really talk much about it. It wasn't going to move much because of the FOMC coming out. So if you were actually sitting there trying to figure out what to do during those news, you'll probably be very disappointed right now. ADP came out very strong, but then market didn't really move. Okay, more focus is on the FOMC statement. So the FOMC had just raised rates in June. Okay, we do not expect them to raise rates again this meeting. So no change in numbers, but we're going to look at the statement. The statement, what we're looking for is whether they're going to indicate that they're going to raise rates in September and December, or whether they're going to talk about just September or just December. Okay, so the key word is whether they say it's going to continue its path for now, or whether it's just going to they're going to remove the word for now. So if they remove the word for now, it could mean that remove it for now means it's going to weaken because we're not going to continue with this path, or they could remove it and say, hey, we're not going to do it for now, we're going to do it all the way. So the US dollar could strengthen. So pay a lot of attention to what the statement could say. So looking at the charts, I've got all 9 charts here. I've updated my lines. What you're going to do is you're going to update all your lines, make sure that your lines are accurate or fair enough that you're happy with, and then you go through them one by one. Okay. In this case, while I expect, I'll show you here again. Let me just get that. While I expect a shift towards this, we could see a lot of volatility, especially if there was a surprise. Okay, we do not expect a surprise, but we could see a lot of movement if there's going to be a surprise of a weakening US dollar, where the FOMC actually talks about slowing down the pace of its rate hike. Okay, so if that happens, it's going to surprise the market. We could see the US dollar weakening by a lot. Why am I paying so much attention to that? It's also because if I go through the charts, if I cycle through the charts, look at it, on the H4 on the Aussie US dollar, it's actually at quite a low level. It's sitting at a support level right now. So if there's a surprise, it could shoot quite strongly back up. If it continues down, we could look at only another 60-70 pips downwards. So a surprise could move it strongly upwards. Okay, we could also be a good 70 pips upwards before a further upwards move again. Or if it's going to be same, no change, it could come down another 70 pips. So Aussie US right now is really sitting at that decision point. Wouldn't be so keen on looking at that. Going to the New Zealand US dollar, same thing. Okay, New Zealand dollar, we're looking at it, it's right in the middle there. Looking at a 1 hour chart, bring this down a little bit. Okay, if we have a surprise, it's going to go up, not much, it's going to go up by about 50 pips. If there isn't a surprise and the US dollar does strengthen as most people expect, it needs to break 0.6770. It needs to break this support level before coming lower. Okay, if it does break this support level, we could see another 60 pip move. Going through, what about US yen? Okay, I'm actually quite keen on US yen because if you have been following the news, you've seen that I'll show you actually, just give me a second. Okay, if you had seen the news, you would have seen that yesterday. Just bring it up. Where is it now? Okay, this was on Tuesday, the 31st of July, during the Bank of Japan's monetary policy statement and outlook. They actually indicated that they were likely to push through to stay the course, to strengthen the framework for continuous powerful monetary easing. So if Japan's going to push through and stay the course for continuous powerful monetary easing, we're looking at a weaker yen. Okay, if we look at a weaker yen, going back to the charts, a weaker yen means that they are looking for a general direction. This was yesterday, a general direction upwards. Because of the news, we actually seen it go up towards 112. Okay, so if we actually see a stronger US dollar, FOMC comes out and we have a stronger US dollar, it breaks this support, we could see it move towards 113. Okay, 111.90 moving towards 113, we could see that's about 100 pip move upwards. In the other scenario, if we see a weaker US dollar, it could come down towards 111.50, about 111.50 before possibly moving back up again, because in this case we have a Bank of Japan who looks like they're trying to weaken the yen some more. So any weakening of the US dollar could result in a further weakening of the yen. So in this case, you notice that in the email here I was telling you that we're focusing on the US yen. Okay, given the recent policy decisions, a dovish FOMC statement could give you great buying opportunities. Means a dovish FOMC could bring it down before you look for a good buying opportunity. Or if we see a hawkish FOMC, we could see it propel off the 112 resistance. So if it's a hawkish, it could break through 112 and upwards towards the 113. So in the US yen currency pair, we actually see maybe about 100 pip move coming up, possibly. Looking at the US yen, you would think that US yen, Euro yen and the US yen would move in a similar direction, but there's actually going to be quite a similar move, but not as much, because it's 100 pips here. If it comes down before a move upwards, that's also likely. But remember whenever you're trading Euro yen, you're not only looking at how the US yen will perform, you're also looking at how the Euro will perform. So now let's look at the Euro US. In terms of the Euro US, looking at this here, okay, Euro US has been moving in quite a horizontal fashion right now for the past couple of days or even weeks. So if we see a weaker US dollar, upward move is probably going to be kept around at this level. So we could only see about 60 over pip move upwards. A downward move will probably be kept around this level. So another 690 to 100 pips downwards move, but it needs to break that, resist that support first of 11650. Okay, so Euro US possibly could move quite a bit, but there are a lot of factors in the middle, and if you entered any trade at this point, your risk to reward might not be fantastic, or your risk to reward might not be fantastic as well. So while Euro US looks like it could be a very interesting pair, it's not something that I would probably focus too much at this point in time. Looking at the pound, okay, the GBP USD, I wouldn't be so keen on this right now. Take a guess why. Okay, it's quite simply because looking at this, while we have the news at 2 AM, tomorrow evening at 7 PM we also have the pound, the Bank of England making their voting and also making a decision on their bank rates, and in this case we're looking at a possible move from 0.5 to 0.75. okay, so we actually see that the pound might be increasing interest rates, or the Bank of England might be increasing interest rates for the pound. If that happens, we could see the pound strengthening. Okay, I'll get into that in another video, possibly tomorrow. But we do have a whole bunch of students who will be coming in tomorrow evening, trading together with me for that news event itself. So because of this, I wouldn't be so keen to focus on what the pound, on whether I will be trading the pound tonight. Okay. Then looking at the US CAD, US CAD is on a tear downwards for the past couple of days. It's been moving down. It's just broken the 1.300 support level, moving lower. Why is it moving lower? It's because of the recent news. Bring up the recent news where crude oil inventories has been very strong. Okay, so strong crude oil inventories could affect the oil prices and then affect the Canadian dollar. Okay, so because of that, Canadian dollar has been coming down. So if we see a weaker US dollar, we could see this go shoot down even lower. That's a good 200 pip move. Alright, bear in mind, let me just check, make sure my lines are good. 200 pips, 150 pips, 200 pip move, that would be a fair move downwards on the US CAD. Okay, and let me show you, US CAD has been a strong up. Now if it breaks that support, it could look like this, breaking that support, coming lower. Okay, so that's going to be quite interesting. So all in all, what I'm looking for in this case is two currency pairs. Okay, I'm going to focus on the US yen, or actually three currency pairs. Possibly the Euro US, but we know the difficulties with that, with the Euro affecting that currency pair as well, and also the US CAD. Okay, and also the US CAD, where if we see a weaker US dollar, a dovish FOMC, we could see a strong move downwards. Okay, so these three currency pairs gives us the most potential move, reacting off strong levels for tonight. Okay, finally, I'm going to just have a touch on gold before we do a summary. Okay, gold, it's coming downwards. I was advising one of our other students in Australia whether he should be closing off his positions. It's coming towards a support level of 11215, about this 11215 is about there. Is it going to break? Maybe, but we come to a support level. We're not going to test. We're not going to gamble that the support level is going to break. Okay, so if it comes to that level, we're going to make a decision. Look at what happens to the FOMC. If we see a weaker US dollar, we might see a stronger gold. Okay, so just to touch on gold there. So back to it, we're looking at three currency pairs. At the end of it, I'm going to tell you that this FOMC statement, you probably, I know it's funny that I'm going to go through all the analysis and then tell you this, but you're probably not going to be able to get into any trades for this news unless you get in beforehand. Don't get in beforehand. Please do not get in beforehand, because you probably get stopped out before the volatility, but you're probably not going to get into any trades for this news. Why? Because it's a statement and a decision. There's no press conference for this news. Okay, so the impact or the results is going to come out quick. It's going to come out quick. It's going to come out instantaneously. The reaction is going to happen, and you're going to see it happen straight away. So no press conference for them to talk about it and for the price to slowly move upwards or for the price to slowly move downwards. You're going to see the results. You're going to see the impact. You're going to see what happens to price. Okay, so that's why I've done this video quite late, so that you get a feel of what's happening. You might not be able to trade it, but it's also a good way to review how the market will move according to different news. Okay, so remember, sign up for not only your free signals but for the daily analysis that you would receive from me, just to help you along with what you've been doing, or help you decipher the news that would be important for your trading as well. Okay, so if you the last time I did a video like this, one of our students went through the news, followed exactly what I did, and made 12% on his account. Please, if you have done the same thing, if you have achieved similar results, please let me know early, so that we can not only celebrate together, but you can also help me write a nice testimonial. Alright, so I'm happy to do videos like that. Please trade safe, wait for the news, and be profitable. Take care. See ya. Bye.